Well, when you say even more frightening, what's he planning on doing, in your opinion?
Well, my guess is it has to do either with nuclear arms discussions, or it has to do with missile defense sites. What he did both on nuclear weaponry already in the New START treaty, as well as his decision to withdraw missile defense sites from Poland and then reduce our missile defense sites in Alaska from the original plan. I mean, these are very unfortunate developments. And if he's planning on doing more and suggests to Russia that he has things he's willing to do with them, he's not willing to tell the American people. This is to Russia. This is, without question, our #1 geopolitical foe. They fight every cause for the world's worst actors. The idea that he has some more flexibility in mind for Russia is very, very troubling indeed.
Well, you think Russia's a bigger foe right now than, let's say, Iran or China or North Korea? Is that what you're suggesting, Governor?
Well, I'm saying in terms of a geopolitical opponent, the nation that lines up with the world's worst actors. Of course, the greatest threat that the world faces is a nuclear Iran, and nuclear North Korea is already troubling enough. But when these terrible actors pursue their course in the world, and we go to the United Nations looking for ways to stop them, when Assad, for instance, is murdering his own people, we go to the United Nations, and who is it that always stands up for the world's worst actors? It is always Russia, typically with China alongside. And so in terms of a geopolitical foe, a nation that's on the Security Council, that has the heft of the Security Council, and is, of course, a massive nuclear power, Russia is the geopolitical foe. And the idea that our president is planning on doing something with them that he's not willing to tell the American people before the election is something I find very, very alarming.
I want to give you a chance to respond to Santorum.
I'm not going to worry too much about what Rick is saying these days. I know that when you fall further and further behind, you get a little more animated. But the truth of the matter is that I have been able to connect with the American people. As you go across this country, you're seeing more and more enthusiasm for my candidacy and a recognition on the part of the American people that we have to replace President Obama. And one big difference between the two of us is that if I'm elected president, I will repeal Obamacare. And I'll stop it in its tracks on day one. I believe it's unconstitutional. I believe the court will find it unconstitutional. And one more thing I'll tell you about it. We can't afford trillions of dollars of new federal spending. It's a power grab by the federal government. It violates the 10th Amendment. It violates the economic principles of economic freedom in this country. It's wrong. It needs to be repealed.
Governor, your son, Matt, tweeted this over the weekend. My dad's finally getting a little R&R this weekend. Pick here at the movies today with me and my kids. You went to see The Hunger Games. How'd you like that film?
I enjoyed it. I actually read the books, too. You know, I read serious books, but every now and then I read something just for fun, and that was a weekend fun, so it was nice to be able to see a flick. First time in a long time.
Well, it's PG-13. Is it a little too violent, though, for young kids?
I think it's a little disturbing for young kids. I think the PG-13 is an appropriate indication of the seriousness of the film. But I'm over 13 now.
And so but you went with young kids, right?
Just about that age.
Yeah, okay. All right. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Glad you had a little free time, Governor.